So welcome, my beloved spiritual community here in Ukiah, California. As always, it's a pleasure to greet you and to have you here and participating in our virtual service. I am Reverend Dr. Candice Becket, and I really do truly feel the love and affection for all of you. And I know that the absolute perfect and right people are here to hear this message today. And I appreciate you all. I also know that somewhere in this service, whether it's in the treatment, the music, the message, that what you were looking for, what you were seeking is coming to you right here and right now. So please sit back and enjoy. And our opening treatment today will be by Victoria Wright. So Victoria, take it away.
Good morning. Let's take a couple deep breaths. Come to our centers as our center. We'll do this in the first person, so you'll hear it as if you're speaking it yourself. I am one with all. I am one with the thing itself, great universal spirit. I appear on earth with others. We seem like separate beings, but each separate raindrop is part of the sea. So we are all part of a great ocean of awareness. In an awakened state, I realize there is one consciousness, one infinite love, one wisdom. And I call it God. I call it the thing itself. I call it Goddess. The one very essence of life itself. It exists in and through and as me. And all that it is, I am too. As I go about my day, engaging in my own dreams and desires, deep within my heart, I sense our oneness. From this place, I easily align with the hearts of others. I see no separation between others and me in this state, in this place in my heart. And I open my heart to give love. In doing so, I am bathed in a blissful peace and sense that transforms me in absolute calm, knowing that my life is so good, that our center is healthy and good for all of us. In this open-hearted attitude, I know that I am one with all, and I rejoice in the light of infinite possibilities that transform my experience, that transforms the experience of our center. And in the deepest gratitude, I release this word into mind, knowing that it is already so, and so it is.
And so it is.
So it is. Blessings.
So thank you. And now we'll move on to an opening song. So Mary Buckley, take it away.
Oh, I thought I was unmuted. I was recently in a Zoom group where we did a check-in, and I was feeling kind of grumpy and grouchy that day, and gave a kind of a grumpy and grouchy check-in. But it just helped so much to know that people were listening. I felt better afterwards, just to be heard. And, you know, it sounds like such a simple thing. So I wrote a very simple song. You know, I can paste the words into the chat, and I will sing along with the recording it's a round, so if you're feeling brave, like I say, it's very simple. You can try it as a round. And I will play along with the recording so you can maybe hear some of the harmonies. So, okay. Would it brighten your day for me to say, I see you? Would it brighten your day for me to say, I can? Would you go on your way with a blessing to carry and maybe a blessing to share? Would it brighten your day for me to say, I care? Would it brighten your day for me to say, I see you? Would it brighten your day for me to say, I care? Would you go on your way with a blessing to carry and maybe a blessing to share? Would it brighten your day for me to say, I care? Would it brighten your day for me to say, I see you? Would it brighten your day for me to say, I care? Would you go on your way with a blessing to carry and maybe a blessing to share? Would it brighten your day for me to say, I care? Would it brighten your day for me to say, I care? Would it brighten your day for me to say, I care?
Thank you, Mary. That was really lovely. Loved it.
Sometimes it's those little simple thoughts and songs that, is straight for the heart, I hope.
Sweet. Lovely. I know I have often what do I want to say here? We have a couple of things where at the end, just exercises that we do that we say, um, um, like the person's name. So, Mary, I see you, I hear you, I believe in you, and I support your music with love. And you just whatever it is, or support your thoughts with love. It's just like, and what that brought that time up for me, and that. So thank you. It's just really lovely. I love it. so, so here we are. We're back. And yesterday, um, actually Friday, Victoria and David and I had the supreme honor and excitement of joining Jesse in his graduation from Redwood Academy from high school. And it was we did it at we did it at Barra Wineries that was out in their garden. It was really lovely. Now, this is a class of 23 kids, but there is also a college prep class. So there's like 11 out of the 23 all have, 4.0 or higher. So they're all in this really lofty honors place. But it was funny because it also was for me, I did not get to participate in Sophia's last year. It was very, very restricted because of the whole COVID thing. But Jesse's, there was still lots of precautions being taken, but we were there, we were distanced, we were masked, and it was such a joy. But it really got me into that place around graduation time, and particularly if you know a graduate, it's like, first remembering graduation, and then kind of just looking at that other meaning for me. And it was like, so where am I graduating? What am I moving from one level to the next? Or what have I learned in the last year, 4 years, 10 years, whatever that has prepared me for my next step. And and sort of like commiserating with Mary a little bit, I did not have the brightest answers. I was and feeling kind of stifled and and am I going in the direction I want, and what am I doing to make sure I get there? And so it was an interesting thing for me to contemplate. And at one point I thought, well, where am I centered right now? What am I looking at right now? What is going on in my life that can move me forward? But one of the things that came up with me is an example that I used years and years ago in a talk, and it's and most everybody here has a car or has driven a car, kind of understands what a car looks like if you're in the driver's seat. And so that pretty much any car that any of us are driving right now, that there are up on the dash behind the driver, behind the wheel, the steering wheel, there are little warning lights, little red warning lights that will come on to tell you things like, your fuel is low. The one that goes off the most for me is that I need more windshield wiper fluid. But it says lots of things. Your car is overheating. It's just, it's that kind of stuff. It's warning lights. So one of the things that I know about these lights is that you can take a hammer that you keep in your glove compartment and hit them really hard. The lights will go off and you can keep driving. In other words, you can ignore them. You can say, oh, I'll get to that. Oh, I'll be fine for X number of miles. So you put it off. You deny that anything is really wrong, whatever, but there's a lot of denial. But back to the hammer, if you use that hammer to ignore, to put off, to deny, etc., soon the car is going to stop working, or at least that aspect. But for most of those warning lights, if you don't pay attention, the car will stop working. Now, when that happens, like if you do suddenly run out of gas or your engine fails or whatever, now we get to kick ourselves for attacking the wrong problem, not facing what is there before us. Yet this is how many of us do our lives. We're kidding, we're hammering away at warning signals while ignoring the problem, the actual problem, and taking care of it, getting focused and taking care of it. And in real life, ignoring the warning signals can lead to even more frustration. And in turn, that leads to more and more frustrating challenges. So recently, I also noticed, because I feel like I'm trying to keep too many plates in the air right now. There's just, so many things. And the second I kind of go, oh, okay, done, there's another one that I have to grab it. And it feels a little bit like a juggling act. And what I know about that is that is not being very mindful. And it's definitely not living in the present moment. So as a result, I have decided or seen in my life that I've started having a lot of little accidents and mishaps, which is kind of, it's odd, but yes. And things like, not meaning to, and knocking things over, bumping into things. I have these, I call them anonymous bruises, because I don't know how they got there. They got there anonymously, like, walking into the corner of a desk or something. But I don't even feel it while it's happening. That's how not in the moment I am. And instead, later that night or whatever, I go, how did I get that bruise? Where'd that come from? And so that's one of them. But so bumping into things, dropping things, forgetting why I came in the room, not being able to find my keys. Those are all like things that are just in my life and in abundance in my life. And I think because I have felt off balance mentally, emotionally, even spiritually, I was off balance physically as well. So my wake up was a few days ago, and what happened was I had brought just a snack. I had a little bowl. You know, I'm doing this because it was right over here on the kitchen corner of the desk. A little bowl of almonds and a cup of coffee, and I'm working away diligently at my desk. And I reached over to grab some almonds and stuck my hand in the hot coffee instead, and pulled it out, and had all kinds of appropriate and inappropriate things to say. But I recognized almost immediately I was preoccupied. I wasn't really thinking. I wasn't being in the moment of, oh, I should get an almond. I was still trying to do this and, trying to do two things at once, and it just doesn't work for me. So all of that brings me to today's topic. And I'm actually going to try to do a screen share here. So hold on, let's wait for a second. Oh, there it is. So can you all see that? It's a little cartoon, and so I'm hoping you see it because I can't see it. Both screens are shared. It's nowhere here. But if you see at the top, it says mindful versus mindful, and so that's my topic today: mindful or mindful. And as you can see, the person in the picture, his mind is full. There's lots of things going on, lots of things to remember, lots of places to be, lots of things to do. The mind is full. So think about it. Aren't our minds fuller than ever before, even though we've been supposedly isolated and secluded to some? I know mine is. Mine is as full as I think it's ever been with things like what's on the news, but what have I read, all these things, but also just to kind of show us how much we're trying to pack in, things like passwords, PIN numbers, special codes, phone numbers, email addresses, website addresses, big things, little things, but all filling our minds, and they're all in there just going. And then there's the to-do list and the what not to do list, and all it's just so much. And so no wonder it sometimes feels like life is a little out of control. On the other hand, our dog in this picture is being mindful. In other words, living in the present moment, paying attention to what's right here, right now, stopping and smelling the roses, but probably more accurately, the trees and the fire hydrants. But, it's a different pace of life. And there's definitely, with the dog, there is a sense of just being right here, right now. And what's interesting about this is that many of us think that having a busy, active life with lots of things to do, lots of places to go, means that we are living fully. And in some ways, that's true. We are absolutely, and I would absolutely encourage all of us to be in some ways out in the world, both physically and virtually, to get involved with things, to try new things, to meet people. But the challenge is that when we are living like that, we also need to make sure that we're actually enjoying the full life. That would be mindful, that you're enjoying that moment and whatever that task, no matter whatever you're doing, right then, right here, right now. So, okay, so bye-bye slide. So what I started thinking about, or doing my best to remember and consider, is that the science of mind try that again. The science of mind requires us to notice the inner workings of our mind. In other words, it's really important to think about what you're thinking about, not just what is manifesting around us, which is often what we get to hear, like when we're watching the news and things. It's almost always something from the past. But even just being able to not make manifestations the only thing that is in our minds, that we also start to release and understand on a deeper level. Here's the deal. Once we become aware of what's in our head, we get to decide what stays and what goes. Because, and it's really important to remember, there's a term, and I don't know who came up with it, but it's PMA, prevailing mental attitude, because that is what's going to show up in our life. Whatever your, you know, I love this other saying that's also somebody, not me, but I love a lot, is the idea of if you want to know what you're thinking about, look at your life, because it is an absolute reflection of what's going on in your head. So to pay attention to what is my prevailing mental attitude, what is it that, and that I've been thinking about. And sometimes this is our prevailing mental attitude can actually be almost subconscious, that it isn't something that we even mean to be thinking about all the time. We just are. So it's important to look at what gets into our heads in the first place, because not every thought, notion, idea, something, or things that people have shared with us, is there any kind of a requirement that we allow it to stay? So you think about like someone coming to your door and knocking on your door. You get to decide, first of all, you get to decide if you open the door at all. You should probably open the door, at least see what's being offered. But once the door is open, you get to decide whether or not that person comes into your house and how long they get to stay. So that's, to me, another one of those that's just like life. I get to decide which thoughts are of value to me and which ones are not. So which ones get to stay and which ones do I let go? One of the things that I love about the Vipassana meditation is where you're really not supposed to be thinking and just observing your breath. But they do talk about if some idea comes up, that you just allow it to come up and move through your head and then let it pop like a bubble. So it's a great, for me, I like to think about that sometimes, particularly if I've been running a thought, a scenario, and it's just repeating and repeating, and so I can't get to sleep, or it wakes me up in the middle of the night. As soon as I can become conscious enough, I go ahead and I let that thought come up and just move on through me, and I just have this little visualization and I just let it pop. And it's amazing. It works really well for me. So back to allowing people in or out of your life, ideas in or out of your life. William Shakespeare said, "All the world's a play," or "All the world's on the stage, and all the men and women merely players." So what I liked about that quote is we are all just players in this realm, but we must also wake up to the fact that we are also, for our life, we're not just a player, we're the playwright, we're the director, we're the casting agent of everything that's going on in our life. So what happens in the play of your life, my life, hinges on what we think and say and do. So it's important to be in a place of observation. Is this something, because second, especially if you don't just grab onto it or push it away, but you just look at it, then you have this moment where you're the one that's in the decision place of whether it stays or not. So let's go back to the car for a second. Because of that whole hammering thing. I like that. But the next time someone annoys you, think of it as a little warning light on your dashboard. And we get to choose how we're going to handle that. With a hammer or consciousness, but we get to choose. So I want to go to Buddhism for a while. And in Buddhism, the term ordinary mind, that is when we are using a hammer. Because this mind, the ordinary mind, it grasps and it rejects. It feels separate and gets caught in the drama. It loves to judge things as good and bad. And it is endlessly chattering at itself. Just, and I think we all can relate to that. There have been times when I have both sides of an argument going on, things like that. So that's ordinary mind. But also in Buddhism, there is the nature of mind. The nature of mind is beyond our small thinking selves. And it is actually a part of our sacred self. And when we are in that thinking, that nature of mind, life becomes a precious opportunity to experience wholeness. So the question for today is, which mind do you choose? Where do you want to be? And for me, I want to be mindful. So what about mindfulness? And I recognize that even for me, there are times when I either forget to be mindful or I think I don't have time, because the mindfulness path is often going to take some contemplation, some depth. And I can't tell you in my years of ministry how many people I've heard say, when they, particularly if we're talking about mindfulness, is, well, I just don't have time to meditate. And my answer to that is like, but you have time to worry? Take a choice. And for me, it's like, when I think I don't have time to meditate, what I try to remember is that that's the same as saying I don't have time to stop and breathe. So that's really what meditation is. It's stopping and breathing. That I get. So what I have found is that when I do take the time to stop and breathe, to be mindful, to spend even 30 seconds in a meditative state, but 10 minutes, 20 minutes, even better, that not only am I more focused when I go back to all the important things that my mind is trying to distract me with, but I also seem to have more time. So I get focused and I feel like I have time now to do what I need to do. Now, I don't know why that is. I don't know how this works, but I know that it does. So when we give our time and our energy to this present moment, which is the only moment that we really have anyway, we have more time and we have more energy. So when we choose to commune and to acknowledge the life force of the universe, it reciprocates. It comes back to us. It feeds us. It lifts us. I found this great quote from Lawrence Bignon, and he said, "We too should make ourselves empty, that the great soul of the universe may fill us with its breath." Really love that. So I wanted to share with you today as part of this, because I know that a lot of you have mindfulness practices that you do, but I thought I would share a really simple practice. This is from Thich Nhat Hanh, who's a Vietnamese Buddhist monk. And you might want to use this the way I've just been reunited with this just a couple of days ago. But what I'm trying to do is do it immediately upon waking up, that this is the way I want to start my day. I have discovered, and I think you will too, that when you start your day in meditation or prayer or mindfulness activity, something like that, the whole day is influenced by that moment. And that's really what we want. That's what we want. So, for this particular, so what I'm doing at the moment that I wake up, before getting out of bed, I get in touch with my breath, which is just breathing in and breathing out. And sometimes it's silent, but I'll think in my head, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Just kind of hold at bay any other thoughts. The only thought I'm thinking is breathing in, breathing out. And as you do that for just, a few breaths, just go ahead and relax, feel the sensations in your body, and allow mindfulness to touch this moment. This is what's going on right now. So some of the things I have thought lying there is, sometimes I still feel a little tired, but I'm just acknowledging that. I'm not saying I'm going to be tired all day. I'm just like, right now I'm tired, I'm relaxed. There's lots of good air, temperature is comfortable. And then just go ahead and close your eyes. Once you've done this quick little check-in, go ahead, close your eyes and just breathe. And just feel that breath coming in, drawing in, and breathing out. And allow yourself to feel the enjoyment of a breath, just breathing in and breathing out. And just allow yourself to also, as you're breathing in, that's one, the releasing of the breath as it leaves your body. What's the sensation there? Just think about that. So, and what he suggests, and there's several little mantras you can do while you're breathing. But when you get to that point where you've been breathing in and out, you're enjoying it, then you just take a few breaths and you think this. You think as you're breathing in, you go, breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I release. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I release. And you stay with that little mantra for, I don't know, 5 breaths, 10 breaths. So it's a way to start your day in mindfulness, influencing your whole day. One of the things I just also want to point out to you is it takes me longer to explain this exercise than it would for you to do it. We're actually talking about, as you become conscious, you spend 30 seconds just checking in how you're feeling, the sensations in your body, and prepare yourself to be in touch with this here and now moment. Then you close your eyes and you just breathe, and 2 or 3 breaths where you're just feeling yourself breathing, and consider how good that feels, enjoying your breath, both coming in and going out. And then 5 or 6 breaths with breathe in, I smile, breathe out, I release. So the entire thing will probably take 2 minutes. So I would like to begin our treatment by doing this exercise. So I'll say the words, you guys just sit comfortably and close your eyes. And we start with just kind of do a quick scan of your body, see how you're feeling. And if you find somewhere where you have to adjust a little bit, shift in your chair or whatever, you do that so that you're comfortable. And then just observe your breath. And just feel it moving into your body and out of your body. And enjoy as that feeling as your lungs fill. And then as it leaves. And you know the process, you know what it's doing, how it's energizing and lifting your body just by breathing, how important it is. And so now we go on to the exercise itself. So breathe in, thinking, I smile. Breathe out, I release. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I release. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I release. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I release. So know these words of truth for yourself. As I sit here, I continue to be immersed in the practice of mindfulness. It seems to keep time to my heart and grounds me to the earth. My spirit also feels open and abundant. It is here in this present moment that I release the busyness of my life and I find myself experiencing only who I am as divine. As I move within and feel the connection of my heart to the murmurs of the divine, I just allow the spirit of Christ consciousness to be the lightness with which I am carried through this moment, this day. And I know that the light never dwindles or wanes. I realize that just as Jesus said, I am the light of the world. And so are we all, each of us, a light unto the world. It is true in this moment. It is true in every moment. As I begin to embrace this and dive into the depth of this statement, I know that I am a blessing to the world. We are a blessing to the world. You are a blessing to the world. So I give great thanks to a spirit who is responding to this feeling, I am that I am. And through the grace of infinite intelligence, unconditional love, I am fulfilled and complete always. And in this place of acceptance and love, I know that this is so. And so it is. So take another deep breath. And we're going to move into our offering. So, as always, I want to thank you for being a part of the service, but also being part of what supports our center in being here, and how much I appreciate your time, your energy, and of course, your money. So thank you. And let's say our offering affirmation together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies this gift with all my heart and with all my mind. I know that I am saying yes to something I value with all others present here. We dedicate these gifts to the values and visions we share. And so it is. Okay, so I do have a couple of announcements, and the first one is about the selection committee. 4 of our 5 members for the selection committee are on this call, so you can also consider this a reminder. Tomorrow, we are going to be having a open pulpit, or we're going to be talking about the open pulpit proposal. Hopefully the 4 of us will be at church, and we're going to bring Jack in by Zoom. The meeting again is tomorrow. Pretty much not everybody agreed, but everybody that's on this call said that this was an okay time. So 3:00, we will be meeting at the center. I'll probably get there about 2:30, make sure I can get my computer to respond so we can get Jack there. Because if not, we're just going to bring him on telephone, but he'll be there. It'd be better if he can see what we're doing. So the other things, like we were talking about just as we were starting, I did not send a newsletter out this week, which was mostly because I had gotten no responses from anybody that, well, that's not true. People on this call responded and said that they were reading it. Nobody else did. So I just went, well, what if I skip a week? What if I just don't send one out? And I now see that some kind of reminder for the Sunday service might be a good idea. But anyway, I still think it's important. I still think it's a part of what we should have here. So I'm hoping someone will step forward and do a newsletter. There have been a couple of suggestions about cutting it back to every other week or once a month. And then with reminders, like if we're having on weeks that maybe wouldn't get a newsletter, but like if there's a candidate speaking or a guest speaker, then to go ahead and send it out. We're also looking for somebody who'd be willing to do the monitoring on Facebook, that's pretty easy. So if you're looking for an easy job, that's the one for you. And then we'll also need somebody to do posting of the Sunday services on YouTube. That takes a little bit of effort and time. It's not difficult, but there's a lot of time waiting for things to download and stuff like that. But it still probably takes less than an hour total after the service is complete. But anyway, if one of those sounds interesting to you and you'd like to do that, please get in touch with me directly and I can talk to you about it. Also, we're still doing building bridges. So if you have something that you'd like to donate, please do that because it's a good thing. And so now we're going to have our closing song, and if you'd like to stay on afterwards for a little bit and visit, that would be great. But for now, Mary, you want to sing us another song?
Sure. Yeah, you invoked Buddhism a couple of times. It's interesting because my song is the Words of the Buddha. Last month I shared a song from Words of the Pope, so the Buddha's getting equal time. This was a quote passed on by Jack Cornfield. See if I can get it in the chat for you. And this was the song that was inspired by it. It's a pretty short, it's called Life is Short. And it's a pretty short song, so I might do it twice. Let's see. So this is the song that was inspired by this quote. Your days pass like rainbows, like a flash of lightning, like a star at dawn. Your life is short. How can you quarrel? Our days pass like rainbows, who knows where the time goes? Life is short, that's my report. Life is short, that's my report. Our days pass like a flash of lightning. Is that inspiring or frightening? Life is short, that's my report. Life is short, that's my report. Our days pass like a star at dawn, so lovely and so quickly gone. Life is short, that's my report. Life is short, that's my report. To quarrel is to waste this gift. Let go, forgive, and heal the rift. Life is short, that's my report. Life is short, that's my report. Our days pass like rainbows, who knows where the time goes? Life is short, that's my report. Life is short, that's my report. Our days pass like a flash of lightning. Is that inspiring or frightening? Life is short, that's my report. Life is short, that's my report. Our days pass like a star at dawn, so lovely and so quickly gone. Life is short, that's my report. Life is short, that's my report. To quarrel is to waste this gift. Let go, forgive, and heal the rift. Life is short, that's my report. Life is short, that's my report. That's my report.
Thank you, Mary. That was beautiful.
Thank you, Buddha.
I love it. I love it when you're here. It's really great. Thank you. Okay, and thank you all for coming and being a part of our Sunday. And as always, if you'd like to stay on for a little bit and visit, that would be great. I'd love visiting with you after the service. So until next time, namaste